Hello everyone. In this session of RDBMS, we are going to learn about the constraints. Constraints in SQL are nothing but the rules and regulations or the kind of filters that are used to restrict user to enter the invalid data. We have primary key, foreign key, not null, unique, default, and check constraints in SQL. So let's understand how we apply these constraints in SQL practically. So let's open MySQL. Specify the password. Now you need to open the database. Use db1. Use db1 is the command. Use is the command. You need to specify the database name. So use db1 will simply open the database for you. If I want to know how many tables this database has got, so show tables commands is there for that. It will simply show you all the tables which are there within the database. Right now it's saying empty set. That means there's no table exists within this database. Now you need to create the tables. We have one table called department. So the command for that is create table department ID integer of 5, department name varchar of 20, unique. Unique is a constraint here, and we are setting this department ID as a primary key. So that means now we have got a table after execution of this particular command. We have a table department which has got two fields, department ID, which is set as a primary key, and department name, which is set as a unique key constraint. Let's understand the primary key constraint first and the unique key constraints later on. Any field which is set as a primary key will not allow the user to enter the duplicate values as well as null values. And if we talk about the unique key constraint, this constraint will not allow the user to enter the duplicate values, but it allows you to enter the null values. Let's see how exactly it works. We have these many rows which we have entered within the table department. And if you want to see how many rows are there, so I can simply say select star from EMP, select star from department. It will simply give me all the information which you have entered in this particular table. So the command to insert the information is insert into department values or insert into table name values, and the value should be in that sequence the way you have specified the field name, right? This is department ID, this is department name. Right now, the department ID has got the unique values, and department name also has got the unique values. Let's try it with some different values. Because the department ID is set as a primary key, that means it cannot contain the duplicate values. If I try to enter the 50004, which is already there, right? It should discard it. Let's do it. It's clearly saying that duplicate entry 50004, for the primary key cannot be accepted, right? Now let's do it with null. That means if I try to enter null value into this particular field, it should discard this value as well. So execute it. You can clearly see here that the column department key cannot contain null values or cannot be null. So that means now the primary key is clear that it cannot contain the duplicate values as well as the null values. Now let's do it for the department name. So if I say we enter the valid department ID, that is suppose 50005, okay, and the department ID is again the duplicate value, which HR is already there. If I try to enter the same value, you can see it is restricting me to enter the duplicate value for the department name. So the first part is clear. But if I set this as null, it should accept it. And you can clearly see now, the department name for department ID 50005 has been set as null. Now, if you display the content of your department table, you can clearly see here that the department ID 50005 can contain the null values. It can contain n number of null values. That is not a problem, right? Next table which we need to create and set the rest of the constraints in SQL is EMP table. So let's create a new table EMP, and here if I say we have got now an EMP table which has got EMP ID, EMP name. EMP name is set as not null. Okay, not null is again a constraint. That means any field which is set as a not null will not accept the null values. EMP cell is set as a constraint as check, and this constraint checks whether the value for the EMP cell should be more than 10,000. I mean, the value of EMP cell is more than 10,000 or not. It checks the value based on the condition specified. This check constraints works on MySQL version 8.01.16. This and beyond version of MySQL, this check constraint works. Then we have got a department EMP date of birth, which is set as a default value, which is today's date, right? This is YYYY dash MM dash DD. So this date is set as a default value. So whenever you want to insert value for EMP table, right, and you set the default for EMP date of birth, it will take this value as a default one. We'll see it practically how exactly it works. This mobile number is unique, so that means it will not contain the duplicate values. EMP ID now here again is set as a primary key. That means this will not again allow you to enter the duplicate values. And this department ID here within this table is set as a foreign key. And the meaning of foreign key constraint is that the value of this particular field, which is set as a foreign key, will always go and refer to the field of another table which is acting as a primary key in that particular table. Right now, this department ID is acting as a primary key in that table. That means any value which is set for the department ID of EMP table will always refer to the department ID of department table, whether that value is actually there or not. If it is there, it will accept it. If it is not there, it will simply discard that information. So that is a rough idea about all the constraints. Now check it practically whether these constraints actually works there or not. For that, I have entered, suppose, these many values into table EMP. I just want to know what information I have already stored in that. Again, the command for that is insert into table name values, and the values should be in that sequence, the way you have specified the fields. So select star on EMP will simply give me all the information which you have inserted into the table EMP. Now, if I just want to check here that, the EMP ID, because EMP ID is set as a primary. If I enter the duplicate value for the EMP ID, again, I just want to give this 10006. It should discard that. It says duplicate entry for that is not allowed. Similarly, if I say, for the EMP ID, if I set is at null, it should not accept it, right? Cannot be null. So that checking is there. Now, if I say, if I keep here this EMP ID as a valid value 10007, and we know that the name cannot be null because we have set that as not null. If I say the name of the employee is set as null, it should discard this information as the constraint is set for this particular field as not null. So it should not allow you to enter the null value in this particular field. Let's check it practically whether it works or not. You can clearly see here that EMP cannot be null. That means this EMP name cannot contain the null values as it has been set as not null constraint. Now, if we enter a valid value here, let's say Shubh, it's a valid value for name. I keep this date as a default one. So that means default. So that means the date of birth for the employee should be entered as the default value which I've set within the table, right? And that date was 28/5/2025. Let's insert and see whether that value has been inserted there or not. Now, there's one more thing that this EMP mobile number is again set as a unique value, and we have already inserted this 96 mobile number. So we just need to change it, as it cannot contain the duplicate values, because this field is set as a unique constraint. So let's make it 7. Now it should work properly. That query, okay. Now if I say select star from EMP, you can clearly see the values which we have entered here, for the show. The date is set as this one, that is the default date. And since, the 96 was already there, that is why, that value for the mobile number has been discarded by the system. And as we enter the different value, it has accepted by the system. So we have set the primary key, we have set the not null, the default one, the unique one. Now let's check it, the foreign key constraint for the table, right? If I insert here the value, for a new value basically, and let's say that is 10008. This should be the new value. I mean, let's say b, and this value should be unique, so this should be 8, suppose. Now, if I'm trying to enter, any value which does not exist in the department table for the department ID, which is this 5006 is not there. And this should go in the EMP table with this particular value, because we have set this as a foreign key, and foreign key always refer to the to the field of an existing table, which is set as a primary key in that table. So this should check whether the department ID of department table, that whether this value is there or not. If it is there, it should accept it, and if it is not there, which is not there actually in this case, should discard it. You can clearly see it's saying that a foreign key constraint fails. That means this value which we have specified for this particular field went to the department ID there, and since this value is not there in that particular table, so this value has been discarded, because you can set the department ID for any employee which exists in the department table, right? Let's do it. Let's correct it. Instead of 5006, let's make it 5004. Now it should accept. So that is all about the constraints in SQL. Thanks for watching.